So we're going to take a look at the most asked questions on Say for Tesla's Q1 2025 earnings call and maybe see if I can jump the gun on answering some of those or having a guess at how Tesla may respond. It's also interesting to hear sentiment from investors. By the way, for those of you who don't know, anyone can submit a question if they're a registered shareholder, and then other registered shareholders can vote on them. And you can see how many Tesla shares have upvoted a question, because there's verification on how many shares are owned by each account here, blah, 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 right? So it's not just the number of people that want to hear this question answered, but the total number of Tesla shares whose owners collectively want to hear these questions answered. And the top voted question here, when will FSD unsupervised be available for personal use on personally owned cars? Just to be clear, this is distinct from FSD supervised. In other words, when will Tesla's autonomous software be available for people to use? Fully autonomous, hands-free, no need to pay attention. Now, I suspect that Elon will respond to this with some comments along the lines of, well, I am the boy who cried FSD, but we're launching Robotaxis in Austin in June. Later that same year, it's extremely likely this will be available to some customers in some locations, at least in the US. That's my guess, but who knows? The haters will continue to say, well, FSD is late. You keep saying it's going to be tomorrow and this year, and who cares, bro? If it happens, it's huge. And like in fairness, the longer it takes for FSD unsupervised to go wide release and be available to people, the better, because I'm still accumulating Tesla and I'd rather be doing that before as opposed to after FSD unsupervised. But hey, that's just me. Second most popular question, not too far behind this one. Is Tesla still on track for releasing, quote, more affordable models this year? Or will you be focusing on simplified versions to enhance affordability, similar to the rear-wheel drive Cybertruck? So, good question. I suppose a lot of people want to know, but just want to make sure that everybody understands. The new, quote, more affordable models are simplified versions of existing products, in my opinion. I've been saying this for, since Tesla mentioned them 6+ months ago, right? I said I strongly suspect the refresh of the Model 3 will be followed by the refresh of the Model Y, and once those two things have taken place, spoiler alert, they now have, that's when Tesla, because now they've moved even further up towards super luxury, super premium. You've got ventilated seats, extremely cool acoustic glass to reduce noise inside, rear screens, all that bullshit, who cares, whatever. Once that's done, they've now paved the way for more watered down versions of essentially a 3 and Y, whether or not they have the same name or doesn't really matter. You're not going to see rear screens, ventilated seats, and a bunch of those high-end features, which means Tesla can save thousands of dollars to produce the vehicles and sell them for thousands of dollars, a lower price point. I've been saying this from the outset. Many people seemed to be under the impression that when Tesla said more affordable models, they meant entirely new products. I never thought this would be the case. Of course, time will tell, but this is the most logical thing for Tesla to do. Uses the least brain power for them, which means they can focus all in on AI, and it's going to unlock an enormous increase in the number of people who can afford to and will buy Tesla vehicles. As I said in the past, a linear decrease in the purchase price for a vehicle doesn't create a linear increase in the number of people who can afford it. It creates an exponential increase. In case you guys are unaware, until you get to that mid to low $30,000 range or below for a vehicle purchase price, you're limited to a fraction. I mean, like literally maybe 5 or 6% of the global vehicle market just based on revenue. We can see this on screen now, the purple line. Over here on the left, percent of the addressable market by purchase price. And along the bottom here, we have US dollars in hundreds of thousands. So we're looking at 60,000 here, about 40,000 here. The difference in number of people who can afford to buy a vehicle that's 60,000 versus 40 is meaningful, but relative to the difference in people who can buy a vehicle that's priced at 40 versus 35 versus 25 versus 20, enormous. And Tesla's more affordable vehicles, I suspect, if they can drive roughly 20% or so, maybe 25% out of the cost, they're going to see approximately a doubling or so of the number of consumers who can afford to purchase their vehicles. I'm going to say that again, roughly a doubling. They don't need to halve the cost. That can come later, or not at all, because autonomy. Just for context, roughly here, that's about $30,000 starting price. So somewhere around here, mid 30,000 range. Could be a doubling or tripling in the number of people who can afford to buy a Tesla vehicle, just by Tesla cutting out, give or take, 20, maybe 25% of the costs. So spoiler alert, the more affordable models are essentially more entry-level versions of something comparable to, if not exactly the same thing as a Model 3 or Y. No rear screens, no ventilated seats. Duh. Now, I don't know whether or not Tesla's going to explicitly point this out. The less they talk about their more affordable models, the better, because the whole Osborne effect, people hear about it and, oh, better not buy one now if I can get a much cheaper version that's almost the same. But I expect strongly that's the plan. Next question. How is Tesla positioning itself to flexibly adapt to global economic risks in the form of tariffs, political biases, etc.? As we know, Tesla has extremely localized supply chains on every continent. The US-made vehicles are the most made in US vehicles, all of them, of all vehicles in the US. Literally, Tesla has number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. So if there are tariffs, long-term tariffs anyway, Tesla will be the least affected versus every other company that produces vehicles, literally on Earth. That's not an exaggeration. Did Tesla experience any meaningful changes in order inflow rate in Q1 relating to all the rumors of, quote, brand damage? I mean, you tell me. Search term, buy Tesla worldwide past 12 months. Question specifically asking about changes in order inflow in Q1. Let's have a look at Q1 here. Starts around a 44 relative search interest, high 30s, early 40s, and then later in the quarter surges to 100. Toward the end of the quarter, still up 70, 80, 90 relative search interest. So, I mean, I strongly suspect, at least based on people searching on Google, Tesla saw an enormous surge in order inflow in the first quarter. At the same time that the supposed experts were claiming brand damage, or possibly demonstrating they have in fact got brain damage. Now, it is true, there are some people, NPCs actually, who've been completely turned off by Tesla because they've been programmed by the hate stream media that Elon bad, Department of Government Efficiency bad, Orange Man bad. But what NPCs are being programmed is entirely outside of Tesla's control. Even if they had a PR team, not going to make a difference. And if you're ever curious about whether or not this argument stands up, just think to yourself, if Trump hired himself a PR team, do you think that suddenly the attacks on Trump from the political left would stop? He could just PR his way out of Orange Man bad? Bro, come on. In short, net, this has been a massive positive for Tesla. However, there is obviously some people NPCs that are just completely far gone. But for every one NPC, Elon bad, I'm never buying a Tesla even though I still live in my mum's basement and can't afford one anyway. Fuck you, Elon. There's at least a handful of people like Mr. Eagleman here on X. Thank you to the Tesla terrorists for giving me the motivation to buy my new Model S Plaid. I love this car. P.S. Not an isolated incident. Dean Cain, you might recall. Superman. What model Tesla should I buy? Some dickhead replied one of each. What an obnoxious twat. Next minute, Dean Cain posts, well, that was fast. And the fastest car I've ever driven. Bro went out and bought it. Says, you know why? To support Musk. Meanwhile, Joe Rogan casually posting on X with a mere 58.4 million views and counting. I had my Tesla Model S Plaid drive me home the other day with FSD and it's fucking wild. Changes lanes to avoid slow traffic. Stops at red lights and stop signs. Hits the blinkers and turns for you. It's bananas. Trigger alert. Andrew Tate also now has a custom Tesla Cybertruck. Showing it off today. Claiming he didn't order it. Claiming it just magically turned up. Not going to comment on to whether or not that's legitimate. But this is the same guy who previously, much like Trump actually, has roasted electric vehicles. Next minute, guys flexing, showing it off, taking it for a spin, saying it's fucking fast, etc. So, as I mentioned in the past, for every one brand damage, there's at least a handful of folks on the other side here going, you know what? I'm going to buy me a Tesla to support Musk. But we'll see how Tesla answers this question. Next, does Tesla still have a battery supply constraint? Noted on the Q4 earnings call, and how does this change with tariffs? Great question this. I don't know what the answer will be. And the final question we're going to end on, Robotaxis still on track for this year? We know the answer to this is going to be yes. They're launching in Austin in June. Whether or not that happens, well, only time will tell. By the way, just out of interest, I'm going to do a search for Optimus and see how far down the pile, because this is the thing I care most about by far. Where's Optimus? The first Optimus question here. Oh, it was literally right under the Robotaxi one. So here we go. This is the kind of stuff that I'd be more interested in. Optimus. Just to quickly wrap, based on tags, FSD far and away the most interesting topic, at least from an investor's point of view, followed by Optimus. It's almost like they know long-term future and they're asking the right kind of question. That's good to see. Followed by Elon Musk, followed by Cybertruck. Competition, I'm probably a number 10 or 11 on the list. How interesting. Tesla earnings less than a week away. Very much look forward to hearing any details relating to Optimus in particular. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. This is what viewers of the channel had to say after trying AG1. I feel like I have a lot more energy since I started on AG1. Just got my AG1 in the mail. Legit feeling the effects after day 3. 3 months ago, I started AG1 and have been enjoying the evenness of alertness and energy that lasts the day. I just started the wife on it too. Are you convinced yet? I mean, hey, it's worth trying, right? Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, or I can keep going. This viewer, after about a month on AG1, definitely a lack of fatigue in the afternoon. Pleasant side effect is that my coffee intake has imploded and is almost down to 0. One more? Yeah, why not? I honestly feel younger and will be continuing to use AG1. This stuff really is crazy good. I didn't think it would be, but this stuff is awesome. It really is what everyone is saying. One more, don't mind if I do. I've just received my 3rd month supply. I've drank it every day. I have so much energy throughout most of the day. I'm productive, started a new business, started socializing, refurbished a boat. It's no coincidence. Thank you for your persistence, your integrity, and your insights. Now look, these are not my words. These are not my testimonials. This is what you guys and girls are saying. Maybe it's 100% placebo effect. But even if that's the case, I think it's money well spent. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs.